Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me for Noontime Yin. So I just want to invite everybody to make sure their computers are on mute. And it's up to you whether you want to have your camera on yourself or not. So when we send out the recording, it'll just be me, just so you'll have a nice big screen to be able to follow along. So I hope everybody's doing well. It's Lorraine here in Bristol. I am hearing some computer sounds, so please put yourself on mute. Yeah. I can help too. Okay, that seems about right. Okay. So we'll get started. Please find, actually, let's start lying down. So go ahead and lie down on your backs. So we'll just do a little centering, getting ready for practice. So if you lie down in your back, have your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Take your feet a little wider than your knees and let your knees drop in towards each other. And your hands can rest on your belly, on your heart, or down by your side, whatever will help you feel relaxed. And then close your eyes and begin to take some deeper breaths, and doing this gradually. So you want to just gently begin to take fuller breaths, and let there be no strain or efforting. You're just drawing in more breath each time. So you find your way to that very comfortable sense of fullness, and then letting yourself completely exhale out. And with the eyes closed and the deep breath, turning your attention inward, feeling any tension or stress start to leave your body as you exhale. And imagining and knowing that with each inhale, you're drawing in energy and nourishment for yourself. You're drawing in calm and peace. And then you just let go of all that you don't need, whatever that is for you. And then take a moment to choose an intention for yourself for this practice. So think of what feels like a heart's desire or a goal. It can be just about one pose in the practice, or it can be about the rest of your life. Whatever feels right for you in this moment is a way to help make this practice feel as relevant to you personally as possible. Just holding that intention for yourself in the front of your mind for several breaths, maybe repeating it to yourself. At the same time, just continue to exhale out tension and stress. Feel the weight of your body drop a little closer towards the mat, towards the floor, towards the earth. I'll also invite you to join me in a collective intention for the class today around courage and being open to awakening your inner courage, the courage we sometimes need to soften and get quiet. Sometimes we can feel sensation of needing to keep our worries, to keep our anxiety and our stress around us as a way of protecting ourselves. It's part of that fight, flight, freeze, part of our brain. Just inviting you to be open and curious and willing to explore seeing and feeling courage in a different way as part of this practice. The courage to turn inward, to get quiet and still, to be with just yourself. And then go ahead and cross your hands across your heart. And we'll take a preparatory breath, and then I invite anybody that would like to join me in Om. Om is considered the sound of the universe. And chanting it at the beginning of class is a way of further connecting the energy for the practice between us all. So take a nice big full breath in. And exhale it out. If you don't want to chant, that's fine. Just feel the vibration. Nice big inhale in. And then in Om as you exhale. Pausing to feel the vibration. Okay, bring your hands down by your sides. Walk your feet a little closer together so they feel as though they are hip distance apart. And then lift your feet off the floor. Place your hands on the tops of your knees with your fingers pointing towards your toes. Relax your shoulders back down towards the floor so the arms are extended. Make sure the back of your hips and your sacrum and low back feel connected to the mat. Take a nice big full breath in here. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, draw your knees in towards your chest. And then inhale, holding onto the knees, lengthen your arms long so the knees move away. Exhale, draw the knees back in. Take 4 more breaths like this. Inhale, moving with the breath. Exhale, drawing the knees in. Put your breath pace, tuning into that gentle rocking along the low back spine, that massage of the hips and the sacrum. See if you can really synchronize the movement with the breath so it begins and ends with each inhale and exhale. Creating that mind-body integration with that focus, deepening your awareness of your internal experience. After that 4th breath, go ahead and release the feet to the floor. Take a breath here. On your inhale, lift your right knee back in towards your chest. Place your hands, both hands, behind that right knee. Let the lower leg relax down towards the upper leg, so the calf and the thigh are coming towards each other. Let your right foot be relaxed. Feel into your left foot, press that left foot down into the mat gently and keep that level of engagement and awareness of that left foot. And when you're ready to take your next inhale, lengthen your right leg long up towards the ceiling, flex your ankle and reach through that heel. Feel a nice stretch along the back of that right leg. Exhale, bend the knee and draw it back in towards your chest. Check in with that left foot, restabilize. Inhale, lengthen the right leg long, reaching through the heel. Exhale, bend the knee and draw it in. It's not required that you fully lengthen your leg. If that causes too much stretch, inhale, lengthen the leg again. Right, so go where it feels like just a gentle stretch. Exhale, draw the knee in. We'll do 1 more inhale to lengthen, reaching through the heel. Exhale, draw the knee in. Release that right knee, set the foot down on the floor. Inhale, lift the left foot Off the floor, place your hands behind the left knee, relaxing that left foot and the calf down towards the upper leg of the left side. Press down through the right foot. Inhale, lengthen the legs, the left leg long, flex the ankle, reach through the heel, feel the stretch. Exhale, bend the knee and draw it in. Inhale to lengthen, so we're just gently stretching the hamstring here. Exhale, draw it in, check in with that right foot, restabilize if you need to. Inhale, lengthen the leg long, reach through the heel. Exhale, bend the knee and draw it in. And then release that knee and set that foot down on the floor. With both feet down on the floor, lift your hips slightly and slide your hands under your hips with the palms face down on the mat. Inhale, lengthen both legs up towards the ceiling. Exhale, begin to lower the legs towards the floor, lifting your head to follow your toes with your gaze. And just before the feet come to the floor, pause. And then inhale, sit up. Take your feet a little wider on your mat, lean back in your hands and begin to circle your ankles. Big circles, so let the legs roll as you do this. Feel a nice stretch on the top of the ankle and behind as you flex the foot. We'll do about 10 circles in one direction. We're going to work these ankles a little bit today and then switching and doing 10 circles in the opposite direction. Feel that nice stretch too for the ankles, getting the blood flow going down there. Right. Okay. So now, bending your knees, place your feet on the floor and make your way to your hands and knees. Placing your knees right under your feet and your wrists right under your shoulders. Spread your fingers. On your inhale, lift your head and your chest, drop your belly towards the floor. Feel that stretch of the front of the body. And then as you exhale, rounding into your back, lift the spine up towards the ceiling and let your head drop, stretching the back of your spine. Inhale, belly drops towards the floor, head and chest lift up. Pull back with the hands slightly. Exhale, round into the back, head releases down. It's a little cat-cow pose. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, arching the back. Exhale, rounding the back. Feeling the nice stretch of the back, the front and the back of the spine. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Take a few moments to stretch the wrists slightly. So if you can, flip your hands, having your wrists face out. It's fine to bend the knees a little bit. The farther back you draw your hips, the more your wrists will stretch. So if you need to come a little closer to make this feel doable, go ahead. If you can only turn your wrists slightly, we're just going to take about 30 seconds of just giving the inside of the wrists a little stretch. We don't do that this often, and we've been very likely spending more time on the computer, sort of having that wrist be flexed in the opposite direction. And then unflip the hands, maybe even stand up on the knees to shake that out a little bit, circling the wrists, just to let any tension that got created go. And then bring your hands back down to the floor. Take a nice big breath in, lifting the head and chest and stretch the front. And then as you exhale this time, tuck your toes underneath you so you can lift your hips back up into a downward dog. Let your knees stay slightly bent here. Take a breath in, feel that nice stretch of the spine as you push into the hands and reach the hips away. And exhale here. Let the back of the neck be long, and then baby step your feet towards your hands. Okay, once you feel like your legs are fully holding you, let your spine drop off of your hips, let your shoulders relax, and let your head hang down. Totally fine to bend the knees, to bring the belly towards the thighs and give yourself a little stability here. If you
are not getting that close to the floor with the hands, you can also use some support like a book or a block or even pillows, firm pillows, right? And just letting the head hang, maybe shake the head no, gently nod the head yes. Nice big inhale in, breathing into the back of the body. Feel the skin on the back of the body stretch on your inhale, and then exhale. Maybe you'll find a little bit more fold. Maybe you'll feel yourself drop into gravity's gentle tug towards the earth with the upper body. Let's take one more breath here. I'd like you to take your right foot and step it back behind you slightly. And you can drop your right heel in so the right toes turn out a little bit. And then letting yourself fold over your left leg to whatever extent that's possible. Again, using some blocks or pillows to support you. If you don't have that deep of a fold, that's fine. This will be a shorter in hold, maybe just a minute and a half or so. So just letting yourself, again, drape as much as you can. Find to bend the front knee. Definitely have not necessarily a locked knee in the back. You can soften that knee. Let yourself be at a distance between the feet so that your heel can hopefully, your back heel can hopefully relax down to the floor. Notice your shoulders and the back of your neck and see if you can relax those slightly. Just doing some, hopefully, what feel like relatively gentle stretches for the back of the legs. And if it feels like a really intense stretch, I invite you to bend into the knees, just step the back foot a little closer. And then on your inhale, I'd like you to find a way to stabilize with your left hand either on the floor or on a blanket, or not a blanket, but a book or something, and take your right arm up, right? And if you can, looking up at that hand, we're not going to stay here for too long, maybe 5 breaths. But as you stay here, think about on the inhale, the spine lengthening in the arms, the hands reaching apart from each other, right? On your exhale, feel your feet on the floor, maybe draw your abdominal muscles in, right? Restabilizing at your base. And then inhale, you can release the abdominal muscles slightly to find some length in the spine. And exhale, again, restabilizing. Okay, maybe we'll take 2 more breaths here. Feeling that nice openness in the front of the body. On your exhale, bring that right hand down. So now, turn your right toes forward again and bring your right knee down to the floor. So this next pose is called dragon pose, and it's a pose where you might want a blanket under the back knee. I like one anyway. And so this is dragon pose where there's a lot of options here. You can have that knee right over the ankle. You could have it a little ahead of the ankle, depending on where you feel a level of stability. You can keep yourself sort of a little bit more elevated, and that will draw the weight of your body back. It'll give you a little bit more of a back bend. Right, so you want to find that gentle edge that's about 30 to 50% of what you know is possible for you to do. We're reducing the intensity so we can stay for about 2 minutes here. Blocks can also be nice, right? They take a little pressure off of the shoulders, out of the hips. Drawing the hips back to decrease the edge is also possible too. So if you have knee stuff going on and this just feels not possible to do for the knees, think about what it would look like if this pose was flipped, right? So you would lie on your back. You might take a block and put it under your sacrum so that you have the ability to lengthen, say if we're doing this with the same legs, the right leg long and get a stretch into that right hip flexor as you draw your left knee in towards your chest. So there's a little, it's a different application of the tension and compression, but it does offer some of the same sort of tension and compression into the same areas. And then see if you can find a little bit of quiet, stillness, a little courage. Not to push through this by any means, maybe even courage to make it a little softer for yourself without falling into any story about it being less than. Letting go of shoulds. Okay, draw the hips back so that you can take that left leg back behind you, maybe straightening it out after having the hip being compressed. So begin to tune into sort of the signals from your body about what sort of movement or transitioning approach you want to take between poses. You know, I'll make some suggestions sometime, but I really invite you to just turn off the intellectual mind and tune into the sensing mind. And then when you feel like you have transitioned out of that pose and you're ready to start to do some practice on the other side, go ahead and lift back up into your downward dog. And then walk the feet to the hands, landing in a forward standing forward fold, supporting yourself however you need to with blocks. You do not need to flip if you're watching me. I'm just flipping so that you'll be able to see both sides. So again, if you need to bend your knees, let your head hang, let your spine hang off the hips, maybe shake the head gently no, nod the head gently yes to release any tension or circle. And remember to breathe into that back body. Right? We rarely pay attention to the whole field of presence that we can have in the back of our body. So you can think about it sort of like, what would it feel like if you faced backwards? How would you feel in the back of your body if it was the front of your body? They're really different sensations of awareness. Okay, and then go ahead and step that left foot back this time, right? And the left heel can come down, the left toes can turn out slightly, bend into the front knee as much as you need to and fold over that knee. Letting the head relax. Right? Feeling the different edges in the body, where they are. And the longer we hold the poses, the more we can notice how that actually is not a static thing, that the sensations shift and change the longer that we hold, and we can feel some deeper releases. You don't have to control the breath at all. Sometimes it can be nice to play around with having a deeper breath in these poses, but you can just let the breath be. It's there for you as an anchor
the guidepost, the thoughts that come up, if the feelings that arise start to entangle you, you can use that breath to detach slightly. Not necessarily chasing anything away in terms of thoughts or feelings, but not letting them take you away from the awareness of being in this moment with this practice.
Okay. Stabilizing the right hand, either on a block or a book or the floor. Take that left arm and open it up towards the ceiling, looking up if you can. Again, thinking about having the inhale be about expanding and lengthening, and the exhale is where you restabilize. Right, and inhaling and noticing if we work with the breath, if we surrender into the breath can help us find the space to be in this twist, to be open, to be courageous in the form. Taking one more nice big full inhale in. And then as you exhale, bring that left arm back down.
Turn those left toes to face forward again. Bring the left knee down. And we'll come into the dragon pose on this side for 2 minutes or so.
So again, finding that edge that feels good for you, where you're giving some stretch into the left hip flexor and compression into the right hip. Supporting yourself with books or blocks. Again, if it feels better to be a little higher, and think about where that edge is for you. That's about 30 to 50% of what you know you can do. And you do not, by any means, have to do it the same way on each side. So the defining characteristic of our yin nature is acceptance and receptivity. So asymmetry is nothing that in this practice we're aiming to change. We're just exploring and being with what is. Offering ourselves the opportunity to understand ourselves more deeply, to find contentment with whatever is. Noticing in your right foot where the weight is pressing down. Go ahead and draw the hips back towards the left knee so you can take that right foot back. And if you'd like, extend it. Again, this is where you get to ignore me and do what feels right for your body. Child's pose, down dog. Sometimes even a back bend like up dog can feel nice. And then coming down to your hands and knees, we will move into a nice, yummy back bend. So I'm going to assume that most of you don't have blocks. So find blankets or a firm pillow that aren't too wide, not much wider than your back, say, that you can set on the mat. And then you're going to lie back on them, and I want you to aim to get the edge of the blanket at the edge of your rib cage, right? So you're not drawing that blanket down towards the low back so much as sort of at the mid back, right? And then lying back, and if you need to find more blankets to support your head at whatever level you want to have that head, your head, not that head. And then taking your legs long and wide. Relax your arms open. Your arms can be in whatever position feels like the right place to start for you, provided your elbows and your wrists and hands are connecting to the floor. You don't have any hanging joints. And we'll settle in. This will be a little bit longer since it's a symmetrical pose and it's not super, super edgy. Hearing the quiet, appreciating the quiet, even if it's brief and in between thoughts. So important right now to be as compassionate as we can with ourselves. We're working extra hard against our primitive brain. It's responding to all the things that we took for granted about our safety and security being upended. And we're still trying to think clearly and stay calm and take care of ourselves. I just invite you to, with as much courage as you can, turn towards yourself compassionately and with love. Appreciating this body, this being that you are, that helps you move and love and accomplish. It's not perfect. As we get older, it can feel like it's not helping us as much as it should. You can take the time to get to know it and to give it as much love as we can, even when we feel like it's letting us down. Go ahead and bring your legs back towards each other. Bring your arms a little closer to your side. So you could either bend your knees and place your feet on the floor and roll over onto your side, or provided you can do so without leaning more to one side or the other, you can press into your arms and sit up. And we're going to move into, you can take any movement or stillness that you need to, moving props out of the way, and eventually finding your way up to a comfortable seat for a seated forward fold. I'm sitting up on a blanket just to lift my hips up because that helps me find a little more range of movement for forward folding, and I sit right on the edge of the blanket, so it almost feels like I'm starting to fold forward already. And then I also like to put some blankets under my knees, and that helps give you a little more range of motion too. Okay, so as you can see, this is a pose where the legs are long in front of you, but then taken wide. Again, go a little less than for what you can do. Before we fold forward, take a moment to feel your sits bones on the floor, and then engage around those sits bones and just gently press the sits bones down into the mat, and then start to fold forward. Keep that sense of engagement in the sits bones, so you're keeping and anchoring through the hips as you fold forward. At some point you'll come to the edge of your range of motion, and then if you'd like, you can round into the back, relax the head down. So I just want to be clear, the goal is not to be able to fold fully forward. The goal is to find your edge and work with your edge wherever that is for you. So if it's not that far forward, that's fine. If it would feel helpful to support yourself, finding a firm pillow, right? So you could get some relaxation around the shoulders. Blocks or books can also be supportive. So take a moment to find how you want to start. See if you can either place your arms with your elbows and your wrists and your hands on your body, or on the mat, on blankets or firm pillows, and supporting under any hanging joints. Obviously, the shoulders are part of the way that we're creating some gravitational pull of the spine down towards the floor and creating the tension around the pelvic lumbar area for this fold. So not necessarily a bad thing that the shoulders are hanging out a little bit. So sometimes it can feel wrong, or again, the idea of less than, to let go of the notion of intense, localized, stretching sensations, and embracing softer, relaxed, deeper global sensations.
As you're ready, bring yourself back up to an upright seat. Can lean back into your hands, keeping your legs wide and your feet on the floor, and do a little windshield wiper movement after that sort of external or adduction of the legs. Abduction of the legs. Do some adduction. Anyway, whatever feels good. So, moving towards the last two poses for the class, please lie on your backs. Again, before you lie down, you might want to find a blanket and create a blanket that's a little bit longer if you can to support. We're going to do a supine twist, and it may be helpful to have some support under your shoulder, which I will demonstrate. So, lying down, have your knees bent and your feet on the floor. On your inhale, press into your feet. Lift up your hips, move them over to the right edge of your mat, setting them down. Don't shift anything, just
Jen, you're gone.
Yeah, can't see you. Jen, I can't hear you.
Jen, you're muted.
I am now unmuted. Thank you for letting me know. Hopefully all of you have stayed in your twist, but if not, go ahead and find that again. Sorry about that. I hit a button by accident as I was making sure my earbud didn't fall out. Still have a couple more minutes to settle back in. Noticing that shift of energy back towards quiet and stillness. As you're ready, draw your knees back up towards the ceiling. Set the feet down on the floor. Line up your hips with your shoulders again. Just pausing here, feeling that unwind. Give yourself a chance to take a few deeper breaths. That might have felt a little harder to do with the compression that happens in a twist. And then when you're ready on your inhale, lifting up your hips, moving them over to the left edge of your mat. Draw your knees in and slowly lower your knees over to the left, providing support roll your knees to the right, and then provide support however you need to the left shoulder, left side. And finding your twist on this side again can be the shape that feels right for this side. Twists can be a nice pose for noticing where we don't live in our body. Because of the compression, we can notice it feels harder to keep our awareness or presence or bring our breath to the places we normally bring them. So can you, without pushing or forcing, open up to new places for that breath to go? And watch what happens, where you might let go, where you might fill up. Go ahead and bring your knees back up towards your ceiling. Set the feet down, straighten out the hips with the shoulders. Bring the arms back in towards your side. Take a few nice deep full breaths here. And then lengthening the legs long, we'll come into Shavasana pose, the final pose. So if you need to, take a moment to support yourself under your knees, under your head, covering up whatever will help you be completely relaxed without any edgy sensations. Letting your weight relax completely towards the floor. Letting go of any concerted effort to control the breath, to focus the mind. We'll take a few minutes here and then I'll bring us back together with a reading and a chant, and we'll close class together in the practice with the sound of Om. So just lying quietly, and I will reconnect us in a minute. I have a feeling that my boat has struck down there in the depths against a great thing, and nothing happens. Nothing. Silence. Waves. Nothing happens? Or has everything happened? And are we now standing now quietly in the new life? Seas by Juan Ramon Jimenez. Om Swasti Prajabhyaha Pariparyantam Yaena Margena Mahi Mahimshaha Go Brahmni Vyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Please draw a nice big deep breath into your nose and then sigh it out from your mouth. And then begin to bring small movement back into the physical body, wiggling your fingers and toes, circling your wrists and your ankles, and rocking your head from side to side. And then reaching your arms up and overhead, find a nice big stretch between your fingertips and your toes. Waking up fully into your body again. And now drawing your knees in towards your chest, bring your arms down, wrap your arms around your knees, feeling that embrace, feeling gratitude for you, for your courage, for your beautiful, radiant being, for taking time to nourish that being with this practice. When you feel ready, rolling over onto your side, taking your time, eventually finding your way up to seated. And if you'd like to be seen, if you'd like to be heard, I invite you to unmute yourself, bring your picture back if you choose, and join us in closing the practice together with the sound of Om. Welcome. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Take a nice full breath in and exhale out. And then an inhale into Om. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well and healthy. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be happy. Shubhamastu. Only good things. Thank you so much, everybody, for practicing. I hope it was good for you. I'll send the recording out later today or this evening, so you can practice again for the next week if you want, and or come back to another class. Take good care.